Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. It's Thursday and it's June the 28th. And wait, it's Tuesday. That's what it is. Yeah. So
No,
welcome to the big
It's Monday.
Tomorrow
It's
is Tuesday.
Monday, East Coast time.
Okay. All right. Well, now that we know what day it is, it's time for the big picture call all over the world. And I'm Suzanne Truax. I live in Houston, Texas. I've been an RN for 39 years and I've been with ASEA for about 7 years. And one of the things I love about ASEA is meeting new, awesome people. And I didn't want you to miss meeting Amy Stacy. And so today I would love for Amy to tell you about her ASEA journey and just introduce you to Amy. So Amy, go ahead.
Hey, Suzanne, and thank you, Morton, for inviting me to your call. So my name is Amy Stacy, and I've been a registered nurse for 37 years. And most of those years were in hospice and palliative care. I learned about ASEA in 2011. And what was interesting about the timing of that call from Dr. David Silverman is 2 days prior to the call to tell me about ASEA, I was diagnosed with a very serious health challenge, one that no hospice nurse wants to get. And I was terrified. I was beside myself. I couldn't think straight. And then 2 days later, David calls me out of the blue. I've known David since the mid-90s when we were in another network marketing company. And I have to be honest, I wasn't really very nice to him because I knew for sure he was prospecting me for something. And so I didn't really tell him what was going on with me. And he went on to tell me about ASEA and that he had just learned about it. And when he shared how it helped his dad with a serious health challenge similar to my own, that's when it got my attention. And so I told David about my situation and I asked him if it could help. And, he was pretty new and he said, all I know is it can't hurt. So I made it very clear to him that I was not interested in the opportunity. And so I got started. I went ahead and signed up as an associate and I got started on ASEA, started off at the typical 2 ounces twice a day, and then slowly increased it until I was at about 16 ounces a day. And 6 months later, I had a follow-up scope to see where things were with the bad cells. And the doctor called me the next day and he said, what are you doing? And I said, I don't know. What do you mean? And he said, I've never seen anything like this before. You are free of any of those bad cells. So needless to say, that was probably one of the happiest days of my life. Then I saw, I really didn't want to do the business, honestly. I was happy being a hospice nurse, wasn't looking for any opportunity, but I couldn't keep my mouth shut. And I really felt a moral and ethical obligation to start telling people about this. So I signed up a lot of people in 30 days, a lot of people. And this was back in the day before we had Facebook. We didn't have Amazing Molecules. All we had was the charge up call. And Suzanne, that might even be before your time. So Trish Winkler led the charge up call Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock. And that's how I built my business, is with the charge up call. And so that's kind of how I got into ASEA.
And so did you keep working as a nurse at that time?
I did. I was the on-call coordinator for a local hospice here. And I worked the night shift. I worked from 5 at night until 8:30 in the morning. We covered 13 counties in Central Virginia. I live in Charlottesville. And I was busy. I was up
Yeah.
all night doing a lot of hospice calls. And then I slept during the day. But I built a business on my days off. And then,
That's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
so,
When you're so passionate about something like a SIA, it's easy to find the energy when you're just, when you, especially when you've had just such experience as you.
oh, absolutely. Isn't that the truth?
Right.
So I moved up in rank pretty quickly, and went to every single convention. Now, another little bit of a testimonial. One of the conventions that I went to, one of the first ones, actually, I spoke with Dr. Gary Samuelson, and I had some issues with my thyroid, of which I had some of it removed back in 2004, way pre-ASEA. And I just asked him how this would affect the thyroid and if it could help the health of my thyroid. And he said, absolutely. So I was taking a medication for my thyroid because I had lost some of it. And when he told me that it could help, I just kind of kept that in the back of my head. I didn't really do anything about it then. And then in 2015, I called my doctor and I said, I'd like to do a full thyroid workup and see where I am with things. And so he did. And my blood work was all normal. So I was able, under doctor supervision, to stop that medication. So that's another story. I got millions of stories, trust me.
I know you do. Isn't it great to hear testimonies that support the studies that we have now?
Absolutely.
The label on the ASEA bottle, right? The testimonies that you're talking about.
Absolutely.
It's the study, right?
Absolutely.
Exactly. I know that you also have a real passion for animals, and that you've seen amazing results with some of your pets and other people's pets too.
Yes. So I've got a million animal stories too, but I have two rough collies. They're Lassie dogs, and I have two cats. And before I had the two girls that I have now, I had another rough collie. Her name was Lena, and she was a rescue. She was kind of a unplanned pregnancy, if you will. I went to get a dog for my mom, who had just lost her dog, and I got Lena, and then my mom decided she didn't want the dog. So here I am looking at Lena like, okay, I guess we got to figure this out. But she had terrible problems with her hip. She could barely walk, and she was only at the time about 3. And it's not a typical thing with the breed, this particular breed. So I started spraying her gums when I learned about ASEA, because I got Lena in 2009. So I had her for 2 years before I started ASEA. But I listened to some of the animal testimonials and got to know Beth Wofford, and she said, spray the gum. So I did, and amazing results. I mean, she was walking normally, and she actually loved it. She would lap it up. I would spray it in the side of her mouth. So that was one animal testimonial. And then the other one personally that I had was with my baby girl, Nora, when she had her, she had an issue with incontinence from being spayed, and they had to do a surgery, which was in a very sensitive area down there, if you can imagine. And it was a pretty nasty wound. And so she came home, doctor, gave me antibiotics and all that stuff. Well, luckily this was in 2019. So we did have the gel at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would liberally rub the Renew 28 down in that area multiple times a day. And we went for our post-op visit 10 days later, and the vet looked at the wound, which you couldn't see anymore. There was no incision. And the vet said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, it's this technology that, helps the cells signal and heal the body and blah, 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 blah." And so when in doubt, use Renew and the spray on anything.
Right. Yeah. The things that I know you and I both have seen, it's just based on giving the body back what it has natively. We see miracles every day. I know I certainly do. And that's one of the things I love about ASEA is building relationships, giving people hope, and offering them ideas that they have not been presented with through the traditional medicine world and through traditional medical science, right?
Absolutely.
But
And
there's so much more research now being done that it's becoming more and more acceptable.
more
Just
mainstream. It's going to be
right,
mainstream for sure.
right. In the 7 years that I've been with this company, the people's minds are much more open,
Yep.
much more open.
Well, and you and I are kind of the same age, Suzanne. I'll be 62 this year. Hopefully I'm not insulting you and you're around.
Not at all. It was a compliment, actually.
Okay, awesome, awesome. But you remember mercurochrome?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
This is
So
like,
you might tell other people what that is.
so mercurochrome was the stuff that came in the bottle and it was orange and it was good for wounds. It was good for everything. Everybody had mercurochrome in their cabinet.
Right.
Well, ASEA and Renew 28 is the mercurochrome of the 21st century.
That's right. Yes. Yes. When we were little children, right? If you got a mosquito bite or anything, that was like the magic potion, right?
Absolutely.
For everything. Exactly. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Well, I also know that you have an amazing business testimony.
I do. And David, Dr. Silverman loves this story, as does a lot of people. But so again, I started with ASEA in 2011, building a business. And I went to gold, in a couple of years. And then in 2015, I had to kind of step back. There were some family issues going on. I let my team know. I let David know. I said, "Look, I don't know how long I'm going to be gone, but I'm going to be gone and I need your support." So, everybody kind of chipped in and helped my team while I was gone. Well, it ended up that I was gone for 3 years and I never even checked my back office. All I knew is that every Friday when we got that direct deposit, my checks were bigger and bigger and bigger every Friday. And I don't know about you, but I don't think there's too many companies in corporate America that are going to pay you more every week to take 3 years off, let alone
Exactly.
still have a job, right?
Right.
So, so I came back in 2018 and I kind of had to find my way because a lot changed in that 3 years. We had lots of new websites. We had lots of new tools. I had all these people in my organization that I needed to get to know. And so that was, I came back in 2018. And then in 2019, I went triple diamond.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing. There's so many lessons in that, lessons of the ASEA family, of how all kinds of things can happen when people work together that have a vision.
Yeah.
Right?
Together,
Right.
everybody achieves more.
That's right. That's such a great story. The power of residual income.
Yes.
Yeah. So you and I were having a conversation about how we share ASEA. And you were telling me about the newest person that you've recently met and how you met her. And I know you really have a passion for working in the yard and being outside and your plants. And so you were sharing with me how you met the newest person in your ASEA family today.
Right. Thank you for bringing that up. So I've learned being in the business and being told no 1,000 times. I think everybody has experienced that. I always tell my team, go for the no, because eventually you're going to get a yes. But, since I'm kind of comfortable where I am, I'm still obviously building a business, but I'm not like walking out the door anxious to prospect people and anxious to like puke on people, which, we've all done that, right?
Right.
So anyway, so I met this woman, her name is Carla, about 3-4 weeks ago. And I put a post up on nextdoor.com, which is kind of another kind of social networking site for referrals locally. And I'm a master gardener, and I was just getting overwhelmed in Virginia with all the heat. I was getting behind with planting. And so I put a note out there and said, look, is there anybody out there that can help me in my yard? And so Carla, responded and said, I'd be happy to help you. And she came, and there was just an immediate connection with us. I don't think I've ever experienced that with anybody in my life. And she will tell you this.
Wow.
Yeah, we were just like sisters. I mean, yesterday we weeded for 8 hours, and it didn't seem like 8 hours. We were just gabbing away. But anyway, so when I first met her, I didn't say anything about ASEA. I didn't even think to say anything about ASEA, to be honest. Crazy me, right? And so when she said, what do you do? And I said, well, I've been a nurse for 37 years, blah, blah, blah. Told her my story about my thyroid and about the other issue. And she goes, well, I want to know more about it. So it was funny because she prospected me. I didn't prospect
Awesome.
her.
That's fabulous. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's signed up. She's got her list going, and, she's ready for convention. She's got a huge why. I mean, she wants her husband to stop working. And
That's fantastic.
yeah,
That is great.
yeah,
And you met her just doing what your passion is, right?
yep,
Being the best you, right? Just doing what you love
absolutely.
and making a
Absolutely.
connection with someone, right? And
Absolutely.
that's the best tool in prospecting, right? Is being genuine, right?
Right.
And
So,
sharing your
so,
why too. Yeah.
so when she left that first day, I don't do this with everybody, but I did it with her. And I gave her a case of ASEA, a tube of gel, and I gave her 5 of the Redox Mind and the Redox Energy. Well, let me tell you guys, she was blown away by the Redox Mind and Energy. As a matter of fact, she's been to my house 3 times to get more until she gets her shipment. I mean, she's like in love with that stuff. And because she's a
Okay.
master gardener and she works in the heat all day, it's an amazing combination, those two. It gives you mental clarity, that nice, gentle energy without feeling hyper. And she's starting to see results with the drink. She loves the gel. She gets horrible poison ivy. She put the gel on the poison ivy. It dried up the next day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
That's fabulous.
yeah, very short time. She's had quite a few experiences. So
That's great. That is great. Well, I know all of us are very, very excited about the new technology. And a lot of our friends in Europe don't have those products yet, but
yeah,
they're very, very excited about getting them soon. So they have a lot to look forward to and having their own stories also. So they're looking forward to hearing testimonies from the ones that do have it. So those are great testimonies. We also are seeing great results with it too. Using it with people who have memory issues, we're seeing great results by using the mind and the energy too. And even the mood too, for some people who have a problem in the evenings when the sun goes down, that
mhm,
mood is very helpful for people who have, a difficult time sometimes in the evening.
mhm.
So we're really, really excited about the new technology, and the new skincare is amazing. also,
Absolutely. I
isn't
mean,
it?
a lot of people don't think I look 62, was almost 62, but I'll take it. But yeah,
Right.
I love the new serum, the toner, the face wash is like whipped cream on your face.
It is, right?
And
Yes.
and people have noticed a change in my skin.
Me
So,
too. Yeah.
you know, stuff like that. You go to Belk, it's $350.
Exactly. Well, and that's all about just looking younger,
Mhm.
right? We know that the tissue,
Yeah.
right, the organs that are made up by cells are healthier. So
Yeah.
ours is not just about a plumped face, right? So
Right.
the wrinkles don't show. It's really about health and it's
Yeah.
about quality of life. So, and our skin is the largest organ in our body, you know, right? We tell people that all the time. But really, when you start studying that and really looking into it, you really realize that that's what keeps us healthy. It's the biggest protection that we have to protect our health.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Do you have
I
it?
love ASEA. That's all I can say. I love ASEA. And I tell everybody, sometimes I forget. And if I forget, they ask me about it. So I don't know, maybe I should forget more often.
Yeah, you had great evidence of that this week. Do you have anything else you want to share with everybody?
No, I'm just so grateful that you asked me to speak. And Morton, I hope I did you proud in Europe. And hi, everybody in Pia. But yes, thank you for having me. And I look forward to seeing you guys at the next convention.
Right. Thank you, Amy. Thanks so much.
You're
Bye,
welcome.
everybody. Bye bye.
Bye.